digging because I couldn't even ask the right questions to get the answers I was getting. I finally figured out that the NFTs were based off smart contracts, but I couldn't get any answers. And finally, somebody told me what it was written in, and one of them was Solidity. So I just dug in and started learning about Solidity, and all my old skills are coming back to me as far as programming. And yeah, that's how it kind of changed me a little bit.
So how do you see yourself in this space in the next 2 to 3 months?
Just buckling down, trying to finish this learning, and then I want to be prepared when people start trying to create NFTs. I'll be one to help create the smart contract.
Awesome, dude. I look forward to seeing you do your thing, man, cause there's a lot of room. And one of the things that I heard on a back room was the people who are in this space don't have anybody that can vet them yet because there's not enough people who can learn the Solidity fast enough. So there's a lot of demand, and these guys are requesting whatever they want because there is no specialist or guru yet. So you're in a good place.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say I was taking a course in Coursera online course, and then somebody hit me to Crypto Zombie, and it really filled in a lot of gaps. So if anybody is interested, cryptozombies.io is a great learning source.
So for the people who don't know, it's like a game walkthrough, and they have you do certain little baby steps, and they guide you through a journey and get you up to speed on how to do the coding. Well, thank you for sharing your story with us today. If you'd like to, are you in the Discord yet?
I'm in so many discords. Yeah, I am because I get messages from you.
Awesome. So we're gonna be we just hosted a room for an hour in Discord. So for the people who want to support us more and join us in Discord, we have a special opportunity for the people who come into Discord. And if you want to support the foundation, we're officially a 501c3 now. You guys can become a sponsored patron member, which gives you VIP access inside the Discord. So we appreciate everybody. Look who's back. Oh, he left. Oh well. Mr. Bitbuzz popped in. Maybe he'll be back later. But that was cool. Go ahead, guys. What's next?
Well, I'll jump in since it's dead air. So far, I mean, I've only been hanging in these rooms with you, specifically NFT tips, for about a week. And, I mean, it's just the way it's like added value is I can see so much potential. I knew that this is what I wanted to do, but I didn't know to what level I could take it to, or have a level of understanding of it. And somebody said a little while ago that they didn't know what they didn't know, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. And so yeah, it's definitely added a lot of incredible value. Also developing some friendships along the way too, which is really amazing. So yeah, it's cool.
Well, welcome, and we look forward. Do you have an idea of where your lane is in this journey yet? Do you know like what your role is? Are you an artist, a collector, a programmer, developer?
Yeah, I'm an artist. Although I'm getting pretty interested in the idea of collecting too. But yeah, right now I've been like an oil painter, and now I'm just having a blast creating these NFTs because it's you get to add so much more to it. And so yeah, right now that's what I'm doing. I'm working on a big project, and I'll be probably launching on OpenSea sometime soon. I was about to hit the button, and then I found your group and thought, well, I better wait just a minute. I better learn some more things before I get crazy and try and just do that. So I'm cooling my heels and just sitting here creating while listening and talking and all that. So thanks for calling on me.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom, what has NFTs.tips done for you?
NFTs.tips has done for me. Well, let me just say, you specifically, I think the greatest thing that you personally have done for me as a new friend of mine this year is you showed me the value of getting off your ass on anything and just do it right now. That was what blew me away, is how you have such the quality of let's do it, let's go, let's get it done. And then as I learned more about you as a person, and I saw how that works in your everyday life and what you do as a career, and what I saw you do in your former career is in videography. It super inspired me, Alex. It got me in a different lane immediately. Like, immediately when we connected. And like Alex, we've been showing up here daily, every day for the last 9 months. I've been showing up every day since January 28th. And I have taken away from this. What I've learned from NFTs.tips is I had no idea the power of community. I've been involved in communities, mostly in hip hop, for the last 35 years, but it wasn't until all the crossroads that came together, whether it be marketing, art, music, whatever, all those crossroads coming together here, and then seeing community, because we know we have an opportunity that's different than the past, and we can see freedom, and we can see liberty, and we can see being able to be sovereign, and a totally new way of doing things. And I'm with that, and that I have put on my back since I got here, and I will continue to come. But the power of community is so strong. Started here, and that continues to inspire me to show up and help people every day. I'd say the power of community. Thank you for letting me ask. Thanks.
Awesome, man. Oh shit, that's awesome. My microphone was off. What's up, Mr. C? What is NFT.tips added to your life, Mr. C? Mr. C's in London. He's in a time difference.
Yo, what's up?
What's up?
Yeah. What's up? What has NFT.tips done for me? Well, one, I think the collaboration with different people across the pond is definitely a doubt. I think the most important thing is giving me a lease of knowledge that I just didn't have before about this whole NFT space, which has enabled me not only to teach other people, but to collaborate, but also to kind of go forward with a passion of mine, which is kind of just teaching people stuff with ease, because I believe in kind of removing the crap and the technical stuff and just explaining things to people in a basic, simplistic way so people just get it. I always have this analogy: if I don't get it, somebody else is not going to get it. So I try to understand. And NFT.tips has kind of given me that, with either the people like yourself, Tom, and other people within the industry, just kind of shared the knowledge. And I think the most important thing is, for the first time, I feel that people are willing to share information, freely. And that's an important thing, because I think sometimes people don't share that information, and then it puts everybody backwards. But the reason why NFT.tips and the NFT space has moved so quickly, so rapidly, is because people have freely shared that information and allowed everybody else to onboard themselves quickly at speed. But yeah, there you go, mate. And it's also, my man, that's my hype. Yeah, I love coming into these rooms and just expressing myself.
So I just want to say I appreciate you guys. Tom, I've seen him go from just a guy in the back doing branding to teaching people how to use different apps on their phone to do generative art, or not generative, but what do you call that thing? Derivatives, like creating extra pieces of artwork that are available, and the way he thinks about getting into the space and getting his hands dirty and trying different things and not worrying about necessarily how you do it, but using tools and AI to do some of the work for you, and he's just guiding the AI was really cool. Mr. C, I loved listening to him hype a room with his experience as a DJ, and we would play music some days and just have a really good time. So those are really good memories. We got Milan on the stage. Milan, I've only known you probably for about 2 weeks now. In that 2 weeks period of time, maybe you've been here before, I just don't remember because you didn't make yourself known. But since you've been in this space, what has it allowed for you to experience? What value did we share for you? What does that look like?
I would say my personal network definitely grew probably 4 times in the last 2 weeks, just from the community, and then the support of the community really helped us figure out what we need to do as a business and how we should allow to scale. So the community for me is just a good support system, and I think it's good for anybody that wants to get into NFTs and that wants to maintain their business in NFTs or anything in crypto.
So for the people who don't know, Milan created an interoperable avatar that works in the old world infrastructure like Roblox, Minecraft, Fortnite, and in the new world like Decentraland, CryptoVoxels, Sandbox, and others. So you can actually put your face on an avatar and walk around and collect the data. So you own the data instead of Facebook, Instagram, and these other third parties that are then using that data to sell to the networks to make money on you. So if you guys are interested in that, he could probably share a website for you guys to check out and get your own avatar if that's something that sounds interesting to you. What's the website, Milan?
So the website's self-platform, but if you guys want one, just DM me and I'll give you special instructions.
Awesome. So that's really cool. Thank you. What's up, Ebro?
What's shaking, man? How are you?
Yo, how has NFTs.tips added value to your life?
Aside from, like Milan was saying, my personal network growing, it's kind of just gave me the opportunity to just think outside the box. So I'm already providing services to different businesses that I already have. But the NFTs allow me to see like how I can add a different layer of utility and just allow to think outside the box. And it's not even really NFTs. I'm thinking about it like on the whole digital landscape in terms of like metaverse, understanding that the NFTs are literally just like a way for people to use their cryptos, and then they're stuck on art, but it's like there's so much other utilities out here that people aren't seeing. And for me, it's just giving me the opportunity to see that, oh yeah, I mean, the future is not really set in stone. We create this shit how we want. So for me, that's always been like my MO. And I haven't released my major projects yet, but trust and believe this NFT space allowed me to kind of like work on some major projects and really brainstorm with some real influential and important people that I deem important. So I think it's dope, and it's creativity. Like you get to be creative because there's no boundary on here. You find new ways to add a utility every day. You find new projects where people are doing something with AI or just different types of 3D AR technology. So every day is a journey lesson. So that's why this space is so like you gotta be here because you wanna not miss anything for real. So for me, it's allowed me to be me. Like nothing. It's allowed me to be me, but in a futuristic thinking. To where it's like, okay, bet I got this, I can do this with it. So, yeah.
So how does it feel to be able to be in a room like on airtime and we're over here asking you about Romeo and you're just sitting there going, how do you guys know about Romeo?
That was funny. These guys know about my dog, and it kind of threw me off. Like, oh, but then I kind of realized that I might have been saying his name a few times, you know. But no, it's very community oriented. Like you don't waste your, like you don't get on the phone to just talk to people that you don't fuck with. You feel me? So for me, unless you like a leech and you just hear this data mine and figure out how we're trying to take over the world, that's cool too. But I think you get into these spaces because you generally feel a connection to people, whether it be through the words, through the art, through what they're talking, through how they act. So it's major. I think the NFT space is a community
and then from that community, you get to kind of develop your own skill, and you kind of get to develop your already existing skills. So if you're a coder, a developer, you can now code and develop new ways. If you're an artist, you can now put your shit on that blockchain. So it's a lot. It's a dope community, man.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, dude. We look forward to seeing you grow in this space too, man. I can't wait to see you become a full-blown sovereign being.
Let's go.
Let's go! We got Big Father over here. You're in the Philippines, and he's one of our VIP members in our Discord. What's up, my man?
What's up, Alex? How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. The audio quality in here is much better.
Okay, yeah.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. I think Discord is having problem earlier.
Well, what has NFTs.tips done to add value in your life?
To be honest, when I hop into Clubhouse and I bump into your room, and you actually blew my mind with all the knowledge you were speaking. And I was about to launch my project at that time, but it makes me think twice. And all of your the community, I actually learned how to build the community, engage in the community, because the country like Philippines, we are like ESL, so it's kind of hard for me to converse or like talk to people on this stage like this. So just all the learnings you actually shared in the room gave me confidence so I could actually share it to other people, and then uh, I'm actually building the project again from what I've learned and how you run the tips. So that's the tips actually. I learned about the tips.
And where do you see yourself in the next few months? What is the most passionate part of this space that you get excited about?
It's actually the building the community right now. Before I just like the art. I like the utilities of the NFT project. Right now, meeting a lot of new people around the world. I think that's the one I'm enjoying right now.
Are you a collector, a designer, a developer?
I'm actually a collector and actually a crypto trader for like years. Then I just like learned about NFT last year, and then I started learning about it, and then I failed to buy punks and Basie because it's like I feel like people just speculating on them, but yeah, I missed out on them.
So you came in 2017ish?
2019.
Okay, so let me ask you this. From coming from the crypto space, how easy or hard was it for you to identify how NFTs worked? Was it something that was immediately you could understand, or you were skeptical because you really didn't get how this was working with crypto?
It's actually easy, but I just don't get the utility from what the people start selling JPEG, because my other hobbies like I collect sports cards, I collect toys, I collect sneakers. So those are like physical assets. So I just don't get it why people gonna buy like $1,000 for like box at that time, I think. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me before. And then upon seeing it, like because the community behind it, I mean, the way you can actually show the society that you're like a punk holder or like a basic holder, like social status right now in the NFT space.
So if you're coming into this space and you're brand new and they have the same question you had, why do I want to care about these digital assets? How do you think you can answer that question to help them understand in a shorter period of time than it took you?
Actually, it's easier now because we have all this what do you call this pioneer project that show people that what NFT really means. So you can actually check what's happening on those community, or what those project did. Unlike before, because before it's like punks. That's the only ones who's like famous in this space. Because right now you can actually tell people. I mean, people actually can check what's the community, what's happening, how the community evolves, and how other people change life because of this NFT. I mean, it's actually life changing when you actually hit the right project or something like what Metaverse did last night, right?
Awesome, dude. What's up, Tom? Okay.
Fixing my mic.
All right. Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. All right, so let's jump around a little bit. I don't want it to be so structured. I like chaos. I like having fun. Who else has something that they'd like to share about how NFTs tips has added value in their life?
I do.
Go ahead.
Well, you can hear me. I was in one of your rooms the other day, and I was trying desperately to speak, and I don't think it was working for some reason. Anyway, how it's added something to my life. I've been in NFTs.tips spaces since February, and your voice was the first one I ever heard. Let's go! And I come from the real art world. I've been a painter all my life. I was a curator. I was an art critic. I was exhibited a lot. Knew nothing about NFTs, but was originally really thrilled that I could do digital art and have a platform to put it on, and that had never existed before. I knew absolutely nothing. I learned everything here. I feel like in the past 6 months or so, I've gotten a PhD worthy education just from being in your rooms. And everything everybody said about community and sharing and being able to give back, all that stuff is absolutely true for me as well. But what I really want to say is I'm incredibly grateful to you and the whole community, because I've really, I never thought I could learn this much in my life this quickly. My mind is constantly blown. I dream about this stuff. I dream about about trying to figure out something I'm not able to do. But every time I have a question, I can always pop into one of these rooms and get an answer from somebody, and it's invaluable. So I'm now a total member of the community. When I began, I had 13 followers on Twitter, and I was saying, "Oh, Twitter! I hate social media." And now I realize the value of social media. But I really know nothing, and I know everything now. And I'm one of the curatorial team, Searchlight by NFTs.tips, and we did all those great shows in Miami, and we're looking forward to do more great shows. But we have the NFTs.tips curatorial Searchlight pool, and if you go to my profile, you see @SearchNFTs. That is the curator team's Twitter, and you can find out all about upcoming shows from there. So really what being involved with tips has given me is the opportunity to do a tremendous amount for promoting other artists, and that's something that I did as an art critic, and it's something I did as a curator in the real world, and it's given me an opportunity to do that again. And I'm one of these people who learned a long time ago that when you give to others, you get a hell of a lot back than if you just went, out for your own self. And all you guys are like giving your blood to this thing and to people all over the world you don't know, and it's just quite remarkable. So I'm Joyce, and I'm done speaking.
Joyce, I got a question for you. I heard you say something, and it sounds like you're getting a renew on your lease on life, which sounds amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I retired from teaching 27 years in middle school art. And if you think that doesn't put gray hair on your head, I don't know what does.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, the real art world is its own thing. And
so is this a
the
fake
NFT
art world?
is just complete. It's a completely new vista. It's amazing.
But my curiosity starts at your opportunity to identify the value in Twitter. What is Twitter in this space? How important is it? And why? What was that turning point for you that made you realize, wow, this this is real. Like social currency is real. When did you make that realization?
Well, pretty early on, actually, when I realized that you can put your work up on OpenSea and any of the other platforms that that will have you. Um, and I realized that you put it up and nobody's going to know. And the only way for people to know is via social media. Twitter is absolutely 100% crucial. That may not be true forever, but it is absolutely 100% true now. If you're not on Twitter and you're not posting, people are not going to know you exist. They're not going to find your work. There's just, it's still in the infancy of NFTs, but there are still, thousands of us, and there are thousands of artists on OpenSea. So you put your work up, who's going to see it? Nobody, unless you promote it. And Twitter is where the NFT world is. It's where the collectors are. It's where the artists are. It's crucial. So for those of you who are just starting out, build up your following. Follow people in Clubhouse, message them, like their posts. Do what you can to engage with people and build a following. It's really important.
So, do you use hashtags?
I try to. I mean, I'm still, I still consider myself to be a Twitter noob. I think I do things incorrectly. I'm never sure about if I retweet, is that the same thing as reply, and does it show up in a thread? There's stuff I don't know, and I try to look in the directions, but the directions are not very clear. But yeah, no, I use hashtags all the time. I never do a tweet without including a hashtag in it so that it connects to somebody else. And I think it's really important to promote everybody you can promote while you're promoting yourself. Because otherwise it's just a grab, and who wants that person? I don't want to be that person who's just out for myself. So yeah, hashtags are crucial.
And one thing I just want to drive home is the fact that you said build meaningful relationships. This is an opportunity for you not only to share, but to connect and communicate a certain message. And when your message is clear and the signal is clear, you're going to make new friends and build lifelong relationships because you were vulnerable enough to share what was inside your soul, inside your heart with the world, and said, hey,
Absolutely.
I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And everybody who comes onto Clubhouse for the first time is really shy and really afraid to speak. And I was terrified. And, it didn't bother me to stand up in front of a room of 500 parents on a back to school night. But speaking in Clubhouse for some reason was different. And I guess it's because as a teacher, I was a projection of myself. I wasn't Joyce, I was Miss K. And Miss K could go out and do that stuff, but in Clubhouse, I'm not Miss K. I'm just me, and I'm just an artist like everybody else, with all the vulnerabilities that go along with it. And we are all, very vulnerable people. We are the ones who have been in touch with emotions and trying to connect to the rest of the world, via art. It's not just that you make a pretty picture. It's that a part of yourself and your entire being is in that picture. And, we're all vulnerable and we're all wounded. And it's not easy to get over that. But in this space, the more you talk, the easier it is. And you absolutely will start to make connections. I have a whole batch of new friends from this thing. It's like it's, the Clubhouse world and the NFTs.tips world and the Twitter world, it's like it's my new tribe. That's how a friend of mine described it. She said, "Oh, it's great, you have a tribe," and that's what it is. And you connect very deeply to people all over the world who you may never, ever, ever meet in person, but it doesn't matter because you're meeting through the deepest part of your own being, and you're sharing from that place. So.
Well, thank you for sharing. Do you see yourself in anywhere in like the next 2 to 3 months? Is there anything that you're working on that we could look out for that we're like, oh, we've seen her here and now look at how she did?
Excuse me. Yes, absolutely. The curatorial team, which, as I said, is Searchlight by NFT.tips. We actually were created from the Miami shows that Tips did. We got together as volunteers, and because you all got spaces down there and wanted to put on shows for the Bitcoin conference, and put out a call for curators who wanted to volunteer to put some shows together. And so this core team of us, a bunch of clowns if ever there was one, we got together and we put on these quite spectacular shows. It's wonderful to collaborate with other curators, and we just happen to be totally in sync with each other, which I might add is something I never had in the real art world, because in the real art world nobody shares. Everybody holds their connections, their contacts, their successes very close to the chest. It's very dog eat dog. It's very synergistic adversaries. But in this space, in the NFT world, everybody shares. It's like you've gone into some magical kingdom in a fantasy. It's really like a dream sometimes. How people are, willing to reach out and pull others along and help others along. You don't find this anywhere else in the world. This is like, some kind of Shangri-La community of what humanity should be.
But do you find this on Clubhouse or only in the NFT space? Or on the NFTs tips space?
I find it primarily in the NFT tips spaces. I've been in a couple of other rooms, and you don't get the same fellowship. They're more about discussions and information and conversations and stuff. But there's something about this particular community that is really quite lovely, and I haven't found it elsewhere.
Well, that's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing. We look forward to watching you grow and become a beautiful tree that's going to leave little flowers and eventually grow a forest. So let's go!
Thank you. I'm working on an 8 project right now. Yes. What? Who?
Joyce, thank you for the follow on Twitter.
Thank you for what?
The follow on Twitter.
Oh, my pleasure. Follow as many people as you can and jump on. But Alex, to answer your question about what we're doing now, we're putting on 3 major shows in the NFT.NYC conference, and they're going to be shown. And we are the only other organization. There's the Searchlight and the curatorial team, and Christie's auction house is also putting on some shows at that conference, but no other art teams are. So we're like, right up there next to Christie's, which is kind of awesome. And we'll have reels going constantly at the conference. There are 2 specific shows we did. One is called Mask Ephemera, Sacred and Profane, and the other is called Mask Ephemera. It's like part 1 and part 2, Ritual in Disguise. Plus, we have the NFTs.tips curatorial artists pool, which we occasionally have. We open it up to new members, so I'm getting ahead of myself here, but we have about 400 artists in the pool right now, and when we do shows, we find artists from the pool to put in those shows. So it would be really worth everybody to follow at Search NFTs, which is in my bio, in my profile. In my Twitter profile, you can click on that, and that's where you'll find information about upcoming shows and upcoming calls for artists to join the pool. So we're having the 2 Mask Ephemera shows, plus a reel that is going to highlight every single artist who's in the pool. So a lot of artists are going to be getting a lot of exposure from those shows. Plus, those 2 shows are going to be in the metaverse. One is in Pranksy's gallery in Decentraland, and the other is in the Searchlight gallery at Spatial.io. So a lot of stuff is coming out of this, and because of NFTs tips, 400 artists are getting massive exposure all over the place. So I would say that that's quite a lot of value for having jumped into Clubhouse here.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey Joyce, it's Anna here. Just to follow on with what you were saying about the people of NFTs.tips, I think you're right. It's the people like yourself, Alex, and then Glassy, and then there was Natalie and a few others that are just. You're right. It's like getting a PhD, and you guys are just so giving, and you're just really authentic and genuine, and all those good things. And I think that's what makes the difference with this room. So it's always good to keep coming back here. And for me, I'm not an artist, but I just love technology and what can be achieved. And it's so exciting that we're at the stage where with NFTs, the starving artist idea is hopefully going to be kind of, it'll get a dent in it, because, you have all these creative people and they just don't get recognized enough. So yeah, I'm building something similar. It's not the same as an NFTs art platform, but it's complementary. So I'm hoping that, once I get this up and running, I'll learn a few things, and I feel as though I haven't really given back. So at some stage, I hope to be able to give back. But yeah, it's you guys, the people, that I think really, really makes this room. So thanks.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Tom and Quasar and Quantum Variant and and motivate like everybody in this group. I see Van D is here.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, if you go into an NFTs.tips room, you're going to find friends.
Hey Joyce, how do you the shows you were talking about? How do you apply for those shows or get in those shows?
Excellent question. Go to our Twitter, which is @search NFTs. If you forget that, just go to my Twitter profile. It's in my bio. Click on that, follow them, because when we have periodically, we're not adding new artists to the pool right now, but we're done for 2021, but we will have an open call for artists to submit probably around December, because we're going to open up the pool again for the upcoming 2022 shows. So that's how you would get into the artist pool.
Thank you.
No problem.
Can you send me a message or put together something that we can have in the Discord, and I'll create an area for Spotlight to be able to have that information readily available for the people who are in the Discord?
Sure, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome. Well, thank you for sharing and being your awesome self again today with your colorful pictures with apes and mutnicks.
Oh yeah, the apes are so funny. I'm doing a whole thing about apes right now, which is going to be dropping soon, and it should be absolutely hilarious. This is my ape right now on a blind date with the Mutnik.
How'd that go?
Well, it was a smash hit. I didn't drop it yet, but I put it on my Instagram. So if you want to check out my Instagram and see what's happening with those two, it was love at first bite. They had a date on degenerativedate.com, and right now I'm developing it into a whole series of stories, and this first date is episode 1. So the one I'm working on now has Sir Admiral Apley writing his dating profile, and that will be dropping soon. That's a shameless shill, by the way. I didn't intend to do that, but
yeah, but it's cool. I like it. I like the idea. I like the story, and I look forward to following the journey as you drop them.
Yeah, he's a lot. I'm having fun with it. Usually I do stuff that's like serious. I'm a 20th century fox. I do, serious, deep, meaningful art. But I also do like lighthearted, fun stuff. So, I just.
But there's meaning behind fun too. So don't discredit that.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's probably more meaning behind fun when you get right down to it. But I must say, congratulations on your wedding, and you were sorely missed for the time you were gone, and I was really glad to see you back.
Oh, thank you. I'm back.
Yeah, big time.
Well, thank you for sharing so much with us. Who else can share a story with us of the value that you've gotten from the NFTs.tips community? I see some locals. I see some new faces. Who's next?
Hello, Alex. This is me. This is Kofi.
What's up, Coffee?
I'm great. Yeah, thanks. Always want to share my story. It happened that I had the opportunity to design a pair of sneakers for one lady who was into the NFT space, and that was mid 2020. But I never understood anything she was doing, because then she asked me to do layers of the sneaker and the vamp, the lace and the eyelets, and she said she was going to put it on the blockchain, and she was going to sell it as an NFT. And I was like, what is this? So I was done with the project. There was a team, one guy from Nike. He has worked with the All Star team, Converse All Star team, and then it was me and one guy, Miles, in the US, and there was another guy in from Bali. And so after the project was done, she felt she has to teach me the NFT space, and she wanted to teach me smart contracts. I was like, I don't understand what this is. So she sent me an invite to come to Clubhouse, and then as soon as I signed up to Clubhouse, got into the room, and Alex, I met your room, NFTs.tips. And one of the things I picked from there first was, as an NFT artist, you have to be a collector first, so that you get the experience of going through what collectors go through to be able to understand the space, And since then, you would attest to the fact that I've been always joining the room to this level, and I must admit that the little success I've been able to make with some sales for my African masks, which I'm using to reclaim lost stories about African masks, is as a result of the fact that I was able to find NFTs.tips, your room, and I've been able to be educated and still being educated how to navigate the space. I didn't understand what DeFi was, and I didn't understand what MetaMask was, and all these things. But yeah, I've been able to do that because of the wonderful people like yourself and Tumblr Rock and so many other people around. So yeah, that is my short story. Thanks.
And where do you see yourself in the next couple months?
Yeah, so the one of the things that I've been working on was to set up a sneaker factory here in Ghana, because I love sneakers. I mean, apart from making art with these 3D sculptures and masks, and I didn't know how to get that done because I couldn't get. There was no hope for funding, but through NFTs, I've been able to make a prototype of the sneaker with a Chinese company, and I believe strongly that through NFTs, I'll be able to set up this sneaker factory, and also set up an innovation hub, which is already even underway, because I've made enough to be able to complete the building, which I would have never been able to do without this NFT space. So I see myself as setting up an innovation hub and a sneaker factory in the next couple of years.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, so thanks.
I'm one of Kofi's collectors. I love all his stuff. I love his whole vibe. His whole wanting to build a art academy in Ghana. That was the whole motivation to buy the art piece. Aside from the fact that he's telling a story, it's like, damn, they done stole the mask, but at least we can represent it digitally on the MetaMask. You feel me? So just pay attention, man. These stories are really like life changing. You feel me?
The fact that you're gonna be able to open up your own shoe factory down the road, dude, that's inspiring to me. That's your vision
Thank
now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you have had the confidence to do that 6 months or a year ago?
Never.
That's
Never.
awesome.
I've held on to this dream, even with the African masks, to even 3D print and have a gallery in the innovation hub where these stories about the masks will be 3D printed. And then also this sneaker project. For the sneaker project, it's been 20 years, probably 25 years. that I had this dream of setting up this thing with even being able to help other creatives, because these kids who are creatives here where I live don't even have anyone to talk to bounce their ideas. So even when I was small, I bumped my head several times, and for a long time, for almost 2 decades. So it was something that I really wanted to do, to create a space where other creatives could come to be taught, now blockchain tech, Web 3.0, 3D printing, all these things with the creative industry. So I would have never been able to do it at all. I don't know how I would have been able to do it, because it means I would have to work how many years? Probably 50 years to be able to make the kind of money I made in just a year. It's impossible, totally impossible.
Wow, dude, I'm so proud of you, man.
Thanks to you too. Really appreciate you, bro.
Awesome, dude. Are you aware that we have the Discord now?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So for the people who don't know, if you want to join the Discord, it's really easy. You go to NFTs.tips and there's a little button that says get started. We're going to fill out a quick form and it's going to give you a link to get into the Discord. And we're going to have the thriving community that we have here. The only difference is there's a text chat and other opportunities to connect with people and have a back channel and things like that. So we're going to start expanding off of Clubhouse and build our networks in Twitter and in Discord and on YouTube, and I'm doing a Twitch now. So we're growing to reach this information to outside of the people who have access to it because of not knowing about Clubhouse. So that's the goal. Who else has an awesome story that they'd like to share with us today? I'd love to hear it.
Hi, Alexander. It's Monique. Hello. Let's go. I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me always to the stage. Your warm welcomes are always so appreciative. And I just wanted to, I have my notes here and I just kind of want to go over a little bit. But just thank you so much for being one of the people to be that torch bearer. And I see the inspiration, I see the adventure, I see your passion and your vision. And, I think it's like part of the journey to kind of lead with high frequency intentions, and I see them. And as a photography artist and fine artist, I really love that NFTs are blending analog and digital. It's so important to kind of have both, I think, in this world and be presented as two perspectives. I love the community and all the friends and friendships that I've been able to gather in the collective. It's been so amazing. One of the things that is super, super terrific is in your NFTs tips, under the umbrella is this project we have called Glass House, and that's just a bunch of creatives like coming up with different projects to inspire the community and take to the next level. And anybody can join, but it's just got such great heart and passion. And we always are looking for other people to join in the fun. And one of the super special things about NFTs is it gives you this endless supply of creativity and thinking outside the box. It's really been something that I've never experienced in my life. And also the things like permanence and provenance and sovereignty and authenticity, those things are so important as an artist. We're going to be those cave paintings in this contemporary landscape, in the digital renaissance. I feel like we're in this sort of boat where Leonardo da Vinci is, and it's us now. We're the contemporaries. We're swimming amongst the sea, and I hear those callings in the metaverse, and I'm drawn to it. I love that crypto represents this sort of other perspective of abundance. And we're not being told, oh, there's not enough, you can't have it. There's abundance in crypto, and I think that's super terrific. And also for us to be stewards of that is I think, an important part of the community. I'm super, super grateful. And one of the things that I like to study all the time is synchronicity and serendipity. And I find that it's constantly happening in this space and with this group specifically. So I just want to thank you so much for being the inspiration, for being the person to be this dynamic force that I'm drawn to, and I'm behind you, Alexander, and the rest of the community. We're here to drive art, beauty, freedom, all these different aspects, and I'm just so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for leading the way, Alexander.
Thank you so much for the recognition. I didn't want to be a leader, to be perfectly honest. I wasn't here signing up to be some freaking like person that's gonna be at the front of this. I'm just passionate about learning this, and I figured if I can learn it with people, it will make it more fun for me and make it more sticky, and I'll have accountability. And I use this platform as an opportunity to learn with you. So I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, and every day there's something new that I can learn. So as long as I'm learning, you guys can learn, and I wanted to just open it to the world so we can learn together and shortcut the time that it would normally take to sit in a classroom. I hate school. I hate sitting in classrooms. This was an opportunity for us to have fun and to learn cool shit together.
Woo! Let's go!
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Rebecca. You're awesome. But you know that. Oh, I'm sorry, Monica. I'm sorry. I read so many different things. Who else has a story that would like to share with the room right now?
Hi, Alex. It's Anita. I'd like to share a little. First, I want to thank you again, like everyone else has, for the great job you're doing. And I'm new to this, only about 3 months into NFTs, and I've learned so much from you. It's like it's a whole new language for me. And I also come from a traditional art background, and I do digital work also, but never NFTs. So I'm in the process of, learning so much. I just opened up a Twitter account, an Instagram account, and I just think it's a wonderful world that we're living in now, that we have something like this. It's so democratic, and speaking to people from all over the world, and your speakers, I learned so much from them, and it's really great, and I really appreciate you doing this. I joined your website, and there are a lot of great tips on there. I've been reading, and I don't think I would be this far without you, really. I mean, it's made such a big difference in my life, and I really appreciate all that you give.
Awesome. So where do you see yourself in the next couple months?
Well, right now I am in the process. I got my MetaMask wallet, and I am in the process of making NFTs now, and I'm hoping by the end of the couple of weeks, I'll be start to dropping some work. I'm very excited about it, and the great part is, coming from a traditional art background, dealing with galleries most of my life, has not been easy, and it's really been trying. And now knowing that I'm basically the boss, I can take care of myself. I can do things for myself. It's a wonderful journey.
That's awesome. And just out of curiosity, is this even in your thought process? Would you be open to making videos to educate other people who are coming from your world and give them the shortcuts that you learned on how to get a MetaMask and everything else? Is that even in your consciousness?
Oh, of course I would. I think that's all about giving back. It's the most important thing. I mean, I teach, so I know about that. I teach photography, the history of photography, and I'm working on a new course that I'm working on right now with a friend. And I think it's really important to give back, because without you, how could you give back? How could all of us here on Clubhouse learn this? And it's true. I've been to other places on Clubhouse, and the NFT community is very different. I just think it's a whole different kind of community, and it's fun too. That's what I love about it. It's fun. I look forward to it all the time.
Awesome.
So if I would be open to that, of course. So anyway, I want to thank you again. You're really an awesome person, and appreciate you a lot.
Thank you. You're awesome too.
Thanks.
Hey, I'll chime in and just echo some of that sentiment. I'm also super new here, and I have felt these rooms so comfortable to ask questions and really get just an honest response, not some of those wait forever for someone to respond. It's no, just ask a question and then you get to hear from real life people. And for me, creating an avatar, for instance, was something that I thought was so far away. And then putting clothes on an avatar, also thought that was so far away. Hopped randomly into one of these rooms, I think it was like a couple days ago, last week, sometime, who knows. And all of a sudden I made one. So it's like that accessibility thing is really what I value here. And that's really what I'm getting here. So, yeah. Cheers.
So where do you see yourself in the next couple months? I know you're new, but do you have an idea of what your journey could look like now that you have some time in it?
Yeah, so basically, like, I've been making video art for forever, and, you know, just to echo that last, and what Anita shared too, like, I sent so many emails to galleries, got so many rejections. No one, like, a year ago knew really what to do with video art, and then I kind of felt like crypto and NFTs were too far away from me. So I'm kind of just saying, wait, no, that's a dumb idea. I can get into video art right now. I can share these bodies of work that I already have. So I hope to release some. And, like, I think that I fucked up a little bit, if I'm being honest. Because, like, I went through, like, a NFT gallery that's, like, based out of Spain. And they were like, oh, we'll do all these things for you, yada, yada, yada. And then, like, 2 weeks have gone by, and they haven't responded to me. And they said that we were going to mint, like, 2 weeks ago. So now I'm just like, do I mint on my own? But I'm so new here that, like, I don't have really that, like, community basis yet. So it's like, what's the purpose of minting a piece of art that I really care about if I don't have, like, people to engage with yet? Because, like, the point of sharing the art is so that it's engaged with and it's seen. So I hope to get there.
So check out On Cyber. This is an opportunity for you to take your art that you could mint on OpenSea or Rarible or these other platforms and display it in a 3D gallery so you can have it appreciated.
On Cyber, cool. I'll check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I had such a funny moment yesterday. So I joined Twitter, and I'm from Miami, and there's Black Dove, which is based here, and they do, like, NFT screens. And they had this tweet out that was like, oh, like, looking for Miami-based artists working in digital NFT space. So I sent them a message, and I was like, hey, I'm super green to the NFT space, but would love to, like, get involved. And then they just, like, and sent them a piece of video art, and they just responded, like, how big is your following? And I was like, oh, not big.
And what was the response? Did they write back?
No. I mean, I facetiously said massive to them, and then I think they knew that I was joking because I have, like, 7 Twitter followers. But it's like, it's kind of funny that that's, like, the first question that they asked.
Well,
it's really lame if it's the first question they asked. That was a great response.
Yeah, thanks.
It's about 6 inches. That's awesome. Welcome to the community, first of all. I know it's a little bit of a struggle, but my question to you is, what words of inspiration can you share with the new people who are afraid to get on the stage or afraid to raise their hand or afraid to speak, that it's okay and that it is a little bit of a learning curve? What kind of inspiration can you give those people today?
Oof, that's a great question. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing I try and remember myself. It's like, seriousness is like a rock. It's just slow, it's dense, it's heavy. Like, trying to work things in that serious energy doesn't work. So trying to find a state of amusement about things, right? Amusement has flow, it's rainbows, it's magic, it's like that movement, it's that curiosity. So I think, like, I'm trying to remind myself constantly, and this is the advice that I would give to someone else, it's like, stay in that place of amusement and curiosity. This isn't bigger than you. This is something that you can play with. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Awesome. Who else do we have in here that'd like to share a little bit about how we added value to you? Nicholas?
Hey, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Good stuff, good stuff. Listen, this is the first time I've ever spoke on Clubhouse, but I've been listening since you started the room, I think, today, and I've been on a couple of your Clubhouse broadcasts before, and also on, is it Airtime? You just started an Airtime thing, and I was hooking on there at the same time you were sort of onboarding people. I just find it really interesting. I don't really. I've got to go in a minute, and I didn't want to not say hello. I just listened to Una's story, which is awesome. just made me laugh out loud, which happens not so much. And I just reiterate that point about seriousness is a rock. I'm a veteran of corporate insolvency and finance, 30 years. Started it when I was 16. You know, wore a suit, shirt and tie up until about 2018, 19, and then went through a massive change in my life. You know, loss of parents, adopting 3 kids, and all sorts of stuff, a bankruptcy. And then I stumbled across NFTs, really cryptocurrency,